everyone, welcome back to our channel, We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And here's our review for Strange World. Searcher Quaid and his family lives in Avalonia, and they run a very successful farm. But when the future of Avalonia is being threatened, Searcher, his son Ethan, his wife Meridian, along with the president of Avalonia, Callisto Mal, must venture into Strange World to find a solution. Well, if you've been a fan or a viewer of this channel for a long time, then you guys know that Dustin and I are a sucker for animation films, specifically Disney, just because, especially with an original story like this one, we were looking forward to it a lot. There was a lot of advertisement marketing at D23. I got to go to a press day, which if you guys want to check out, there is a video for that, or if you go to our website, themoviecouple.com, there is a couple of articles up regarding that as well. But this is an original story, as in it's not like a retelling of a fairy tale like a Snow White, Beauty and the Beast or anything like that, and no princesses are in it, but it does follow a family. In fact, this is an interesting one because it does follow the generation of the Quaid family. We have Searcher, we have his son Ethan, who run a very successful farm on Avalonia. They are almost seen as like, not celebrities, but they are, and I'm not saying like they live really rich, but the people look up to the Quaid family, specifically Searcher, partially because his dad was a legendary explorer, Jaeger Searcher, and there was also something that Searcher did early in his year that kind of made him very popular amongst the people of Avalonia, which we won't say exactly how that happened, so you guys can find out when you watch the movie.
And I have to admit, that's what this whole movie seemed very exciting about, was the fact that we got to see this brand new world, and we got to see this generational relationship between like a father and son, and his dad wanted to be this big explorer, and seeing his son is like, no dad. And that's what really just seemed amazing about this movie, was to see this original adventure, to see it have this father-son dynamic, and especially the graphics and the animation looked amazing. I have to admit, I was really excited about going into this whole new story that seemed like it had a little bit of Journey to the Center of the Earth kind of vibes to it, and maybe even a little bit of like Jules Verne adventure. So I was kind of like, I was really on board for this. I was excited to see the new animation, and it just seemed like a really fun story.
Speaking of animation, I think this is one of the most strikingly beautiful Disney animation films, and there's been a lot, so like us saying this is just the technology and the artistry just keeps improving. Like, I can't tell you how many times we were in the middle of the movie and all of a sudden my eyes go straight to the character's clothes and the way it's moving in the environment. I'm like, Dustin, that looks real. That looks so tangible. And it's awesome to see. The color palette is absolutely insane. They really made a point to set apart what you're seeing in Avalonia, which is very green. So like, it kind of goes with, you know, Searcher's whole thing, which is he's a farmer, and his crops and how important that is to him and to the city of Avalonia. But once they start venturing to Strange World, you don't see an ounce of green, but literally then every other color is in there, and it is bright and beautiful and weird and awesome.
And also with the creature design that they have down in Strange World, it was just the fact, the stark difference from the upper world and Strange World, and the colorization, I love just how all the creatures and monsters looked. They made it was a new kind of take on this. How can we draw something that we've never seen before? How can we create something that is kind of has some inspiration of different from. Sorry, I don't want to re-quote Jules Verne. How can we have different kinds of inspiration but still kind of create something new for the audience? And I really enjoyed just that kind of, we were really going into a world we've never seen before.
Yeah, when we look at the creatures, and there are so many of them, you're kind of like, what is that? Why is it, oh, that's the sound it makes, and oh, it's gonna move this way. Nope, it's gonna move a different way too, and it's just so, it breaks all the rules of any sort of thing you've ever seen, and it's so wild and really, really interesting. It's one of my favorite things to watch in this film is the environment and the creatures. Now the story is, from what the directors have said, is they wanted to make something. The messaging is sort of how they want to treat our world and our environment and our Earth. I mean, they don't use Earth specifically in this movie, but like just for explanation purposes, what they do to it now will impact the next generation, essentially their kids, and how do we want to leave Earth for them, and what can we do to make it better for them. So that is essentially one of the messaging throughout the film. The other one, I would say, it's a little bit of that like generational, I don't want to say trauma because it's really not that, but the expectation that the older generation have for the younger generation, as in like, I don't know how many times you've probably heard me and Dustin talk about my parents' expectation for me, that traditional job, you're gonna be a doctor, be a lawyer, or if my dad had like a business, something like that, like you take over, you guys know what I'm talking about. You've seen it in dramas as well, I'm sure. So it touches on that a little bit as well. So there's like multiple little stories that they touch on in this film.
And something that is also really cute with that is the fact that it also showed the similarities. Even though you saw that expectation versus reality with father and son, there was also that, but you can definitely tell that they have a lot of things in common, since that generation the father did raise the son, and then the son raised his son. You still saw the similarities between each generation, and that adds kind of an endearing feeling, and everyone's able to kind of look at that and go, oh my god, I'm turning into my parents.
But you don't realize it
exactly
until something hits you. You're like, oh no, it's the thing I said I didn't want.
And I feel like they were moving towards that goal, and they were trying to try to get it a little bit deeper into that generational gap, that they kind of started to turn it a little bit more of a generic kind of a storytelling tropes. I feel like they kind of just scratched the surface when they really could have delved into this. I feel like they could have, it didn't quite feel as natural as I would have liked to have seen it in storytelling. And I feel like that's kind of one of the themes of this movie, is that they have certain great ideas, hey, let's talk about environmental stewardship. Let's have this connection between father and son, and then this generation between father, son, and grandson. And they just don't quite execute any one idea equally. It's all kind of surface value.
Yes. I feel like the messaging as far as the environmental stuff, really, really great. The generational stuff, really great ideas, but they didn't really, because the movie's under 2 hours, so they didn't have a lot of time to fully explore both. So I felt like I liked the characters that I was seeing on screen. I liked the story that we're telling here, but I didn't care enough for neither of the topics to feel fully invested in it. So there was a lot of stuff that was happening in Avalonia, and what is happening in Avalonia could potentially be really, really devastating to the people, and that's why they have to go into Strange World. But we didn't spend enough time in Avalonia for me to fully care about its city or its people enough to be like, okay, they got to go down there and risk their life. And same thing for the people. Like, these characters are so fun, they're so cool to watch, and I wish we had more time to delve a little bit deeper. I think the only character that I feel like we really, really spent the most time with is probably Searcher.
Yeah.
And then I would say Ethan is a close second, Ethan being his son. But there was so much more I would have liked for them to do with Ethan. There was so much more I wish they had done with Callisto Mal. There's so much more I wish they had done with Meridian, Searcher's wife, because she's hella cool.
Yeah.
So, really liked a lot of things, but it's like the execution didn't really quite nail the landing for me.
I think what it really does come down to is the world building really, really lacked, to where, like what Wendy said, we really didn't care about the adventure that they were going on. We didn't have any connection or attachment to that, the reason why they're going down to Strange World to begin with. And also, we didn't really care about the effects that it would have on the people, whether they succeeded or failed. There was just not that relationship or that connection grown with the world itself to really care about this world-ending event that could possibly happen.
I will tell you about the two characters you're going to really love, though. You're going to love Splat and you're going to love Legend. Those are our two nonverbal characters in the film. Disney does nonverbal characters really well, man. Like, take a look at the magic carpet in Aladdin. It's like instant selling point. And give me all the merchandising for... So there is Splat. Splat, I don't really know how to, like, explain Splat, but Splat is a part of Strange World, so that can kind of give you an idea of, I'm sure you've seen, he's a cute little blue guy, and it's just so cool and fun and endearing. And then we have Legend, which is the Quaid's family dog. It's got 3 legs, one expression, and it is
I love you.
The cutest. Yeah, he doesn't say I love you, but you know the expression does. Just loves everything, and I love those two, and I am pretty sure the next time you and I take a trip to Disneyland, once the movie is released, we're gonna see merchandising for Splat and Legend, and I don't know what I'm gonna buy, but I'm gonna buy something.
And I do like that in the movie they kind of do poke fun at themselves for that. I'm not going to say what the joke is. There's a couple moments though to when you're just like, ha, that's a little breaking of the fourth wall.
No, there are so many good moments like that in this film. I feel like the creative I had fun. I had a lot of fun watching it. I just didn't feel like they quite nailed both of the messages that they were trying to. Like it was almost there, really, really close. But you guys are gonna love the animation. I think it's absolutely stunning. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and give you guys our rating, which if you want to know, the movie couple rating system is listed for you in the description below. I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a matinee. Again, I've said it 3 times. I'll say it one more time. The animation is absolutely gorgeous. This is also one of the first times that Disney has, like, the animation team worked really hand in hand with the Crowds team, and Crowds is essentially like background, not just people, but like background things, and that goes to show you how many creatures that we see in Strange World. So you are going to love exploring it because it is so different than any other Disney films, like as far as creatures and environment goes, that you have ever seen. Like, everything is not what it seems, is what there were parts that like freaked me out where I was like, ugh, no, get out of here. I don't want to be in Strange World anymore. I want to go home. As far as the story, it is really interesting and I like the messaging. I just wish we had more time, and this, you know, traditionally most animated films are under 2 hours, so like the runtime isn't actually shorter. I just feel like they left so much out that I think Strange World would have worked really, really well. And if they want to expand this, they could, but it would have worked really, really well, I think, as a series as opposed to a film. Because I want to see the everyday lives of the people of Avalonia, or like, you know,
or at least show us enough to make us care. Yes,
and I think there could have been more to explore with the 3 Quaids.
I have to agree with you on this. Is the fact that it's really worth matineeing it because it is beautiful. It is a fun story. It just really, it's an original when it comes to like design and coloring and lighting, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And I have to admit, this is something that you do want to see on a big screen. So my rating is matinee it.
And there you go. That's our review for Strange World. If you've seen the film, let us know what your thought of the film in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.